Do you know that some of your favorite foods actually came from Africa? Yes, you heard me right. That coffee you drink every morning? African. That watermelon you enjoy on a hot day? African. That okra in your soup? You guessed it. African. Welcome back to TalesbyAyaIjesha, and happy 2026. This is our very first story of the year, and I wanted to start with something special. Something that will make you look at your kitchen differently. Today we are going on a journey through history, a journey through taste, a journey that will show you how Africa has been feeding the world for thousands of years. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you the story of foods that changed the world. Let us start with the most popular drink on earth, coffee. Every single day, over 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed around the world. 2 billion! That is a lot of coffee. But here is what most people do not know. Coffee was discovered in Ethiopia. A long time ago, there was a young goat herder named Kaldi. He lived in the Ethiopian highlands. One day, Kaldi noticed something strange. His goats were dancing. Yes, dancing. They were jumping around with so much energy. Kaldi was confused. What happened to his goats? Then he saw it. The goats had been eating red berries from a certain tree. Kaldi was curious. He picked some berries and tasted them himself. And just like that, he felt alive. He felt awake. He felt powerful. Kaldi had just discovered coffee. He took the berries to a local monastery. The monks there made a drink from the berries. They found that it helped them stay awake during long prayers. Word spread. The drink traveled from Ethiopia to Yemen, from Yemen to the Arab world, from the Arab world to Europe, and from Europe to every corner of the globe. Today, coffee is a multi-billion-dollar industry. But it all started with a curious goat herder in Africa. Do you know that? Now let us talk about something sweet, something refreshing, something perfect for a hot summer day, watermelon. When you think of watermelon, what comes to mind? Maybe a picnic, maybe a beach day, maybe a cold slice on a sunny afternoon. But do you know where watermelon comes from? Africa, specifically the Kalahari Desert. Yes, the desert. It sounds strange, right? How can such a juicy fruit come from a dry desert? Here is the secret. Watermelons were nature's water bottles. Ancient Africans in the Kalahari region used watermelons to store water. The fruit could stay fresh for weeks. It was a lifesaver in the hot, dry climate. Over time, people began to grow watermelons on purpose. They selected the sweetest ones, the juiciest ones, the biggest ones. From Africa, watermelon traveled to Egypt. We know this because scientists found watermelon seeds in the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. That is over 3,000 years ago. From Egypt, watermelon spread to the Mediterranean, then to China, then to Europe, and finally to the Americas. Today, China grows more watermelon than any other country. But the fruit itself? 100% African. If you have ever eaten gumbo, you have tasted Africa. If you have ever had a bowl of okra soup, you have tasted Africa. Okra is one of the most important vegetables in African cooking. And guess what? It started right here on this continent. Okra comes from the area around Ethiopia and Sudan. For thousands of years, Africans have been growing and eating this green vegetable. But here is the sad part of okra's journey. During the slave trade, enslaved Africans brought okra seeds with them to the Americas. They hid seeds in their hair. They hid seeds in their clothes. They did everything they could to keep a piece of home with them. In the New World, okra became a symbol of survival, a symbol of culture, a symbol of home. The word gumbo itself comes from the Bantu word for okra, In many African languages, okra is called something like kingombo or ngombo. Today, okra is loved all over the world. From the southern United States to the Caribbean, from Brazil to India, from the Middle East to Southeast Asia. But every time you eat okra, remember where it came from. Remember the people who carried it across the ocean. Remember Africa. Now let us talk about yams, real yams. I need to clear something up first. In many Western countries, people call sweet potatoes yams. But they are not the same thing, not at all. Real yams are African. They are bigger. They are starchier. They have a rough bark-like skin. Yams have been grown in West Africa for over 10,000 years. 10,000 years. That is before the pyramids were built. That is before writing was invented. In many African cultures, yams are not just food, they are sacred. In Nigeria, there is a festival called the New Yam Festival. It is a time of celebration, a time of thanksgiving, a time to honor the earth for providing food. The Igbo people call it Iri Ji. It marks the beginning of the harvest season. No one is allowed to eat the new yams until the festival is complete. Yams also traveled across the ocean during the slave trade. They became an important food in the Caribbean and South America. Today, Nigeria is the largest producer of yams in the world. Over 70% of the world's yams come from West Africa. So the next time someone calls a sweet potato a yam, you can politely correct them. And now you know the real story. Okay, this one is going to surprise you. Are you ready? Do you know what Coca-Cola is named after? The kola nut. An African nut. That is right. One of the most famous brands in the world is named after an African ingredient. The kola nut comes from the kola tree, which grows in the rainforests of West Africa. For centuries, Africans have chewed kola nuts for energy. The nut contains caffeine, just like coffee. In many African cultures, the kola nut is a symbol of hospitality. When you visit someone's home, they offer you kola nut. It is a sign of welcome, a sign of respect, a sign of friendship. The Igbo proverb says, "He who brings kola brings life." When European traders came to Africa, they discovered the kola nut. They took it back to Europe. Scientists studied it. They found out about its caffeine content. In 1886, a pharmacist in Atlanta, Georgia, created a new drink. He used extracts from the coca leaf and the kola nut. He called it Coca-Cola. Today, Coca-Cola is sold in over 200 countries. It is one of the most recognized brands on earth, and it carries the name of an African nut. Do you know that? Let us talk about grains, the foundation of human civilization. When people talk about ancient grains, they usually mention wheat and rice. But there are two grains that are just as important: sorghum and millet. Both are African. Sorghum was first grown in Sudan and Ethiopia over 5,000 years ago. It is tough. It can survive in hot, dry conditions. It does not need much water. Millet is even older. Some scientists believe it was one of the first crops ever grown by humans. For millions of Africans, these grains are life. They are used to make porridge. They are used to make bread. They are used to make beer. Today, sorghum is the fifth most important grain in the world. It is used to feed both people and animals. It is used to make gluten-free products. It is even used to make biofuel. And it all started in Africa. Here is another one that might surprise you. Black-eyed peas. In the American South, people eat black-eyed peas on New Year's Day for good luck. But this tradition has African roots. Black-eyed peas come from West Africa. They have been grown there for thousands of years. When enslaved Africans were brought to America, They brought black-eyed peas with them. In Africa, black-eyed peas are used in many dishes. They are cooked with rice. They are made into fritters called akara. They are added to stews and soups. The tradition of eating black-eyed peas for good luck. That comes from African beliefs about the pea bringing prosperity and good fortune. So, every New Year's Day, when millions of Americans sit down to eat black-eyed peas, they are continuing an African tradition. And there you have it. Coffee, watermelon, okra, yams, kola nut, sorghum, millet, black-eyed peas. 8 foods that came from Africa. 8 foods that changed the world. 8 foods that are probably in your kitchen right now. The next time you drink your morning coffee, remember Ethiopia. The next time you bite into a slice of watermelon, remember the Kalahari. The next time you enjoy a bowl of okra soup, remember the ancestors who carried those seeds across the ocean. Africa has been feeding the world for thousands of years. And now you know. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. This is TalesbyAyaIjesha, and this has been our first Do You Know of 2026. If you learned something new today, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. Share this with someone who loves food. Share it with someone who loves history. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and never stop asking, do you know? See you in the next one.